back to Anything is Possible. I'm Tamara, and I live at Lake Chapala in Jalisco, Mexico. This week, I wanted to start out following up on last week's discussion on Christmas. Things have really taken off. Yesterday was December 12th, and it actually was the celebration of the Virgin of Guadalupe, which is known as the mother of all Mexicans, and it is a big holiday, and that is kind of when the beginning of the celebrations of Christmas start. And so for the last week, I've seen a whole lot more going on in terms of decorating for Christmas. It's really interesting because, coming from the U.S., Christmas starts early in November. People start putting decorations up, but here it's a lot later, and it goes all the way through, apparently, I will be finding out, January 6th, which is called Dia de los Reyes, and Reyes are the three kings. So that is Three Kings Day, and it's celebrated here, kind of, I guess, the wrap-up of the holiday season, although from what I understand, a lot of times the Christmas decorations are up all the way until February. Things are just a little different timeline here. I hope to get out and get some pictures for you. Well, I did go over to Chapala last evening about sunset. Oh my gosh, they have the roads torn up there really bad. The main street is completely torn up, and there's detours everywhere. And I did manage to drive around where the town square is. There's really no way to drive anywhere near there. I wasn't able to take any pictures, but it has a lot of lights up now, strung all around the gazebo, and light ropes wrapping around all the trees. And I think there's like a little Santa's house, and lines of parents with kids waiting to go down there. So about the only way you can get down to the town square is to walk these days. And I just felt like I wanted to get back home before it got too dark. And traffic was just crazy down there with, all the kids and the people walking, and one lane of traffic going in each direction, all completely detoured onto the wrong side of the road. And I even went down to the Malecon, thinking I could get back around to the main street to turn left where I needed to, and even the access from the Malecon was closed. And I really tried to get pictures, but I wasn't able to. So Ajijic is also very much torn up and kind of a mess too, but I might be able to get to San Antonio, Tlacopan, and take a few pictures if they have their main square decorated. We'll see. But anyway, Chapala was a no-go. This week I wanted to cover a topic that seems to come up a lot. People have a lot of different motives as to why they think they want to move to Mexico. And I think that's a really important question to be asking yourself, because it's just such a huge effort to go through moving down here and either, downsizing, moving your things, or getting rid of everything, which is what a lot of people do, and moving down and uprooting yourself and leaving your friends and family behind and starting all over in a new country. I watch a channel off and on YouTube called Jerry Brown's Travels. Jerry Brown and his wife Lori travel all over Mexico, but they seem to somewhat be home-based here in the Lake Chapala area. And I'm not exactly sure, it wasn't clear on his video, which I will link below, but he has, I don't know if it was like just looking over the years of the people that he's known. I think that might have been it, because I haven't found any other statistics, but he says about 70% of people that move down here to Mexico don't last 5 years before they move back home, or back to the States or Canada or wherever they moved from. And that's just a huge number. It's more than half the people that move down here decide it's not for them and move back home. And that is just I mean, I think people that move within the United States probably stay put a lot longer than that. So I would say the success rate of moving down is really quite low if his numbers are correct. And I have seen a lot of turnover amongst the people I know that move down. I mean, some of them, they move down and it just fits them. Everything about this area, it suits them and they love it. Other people move down and they decide this particular area isn't right and maybe they want to relocate to a different location. So maybe that they like Mexico, but this area isn't a good fit. A lot of people that I see on the Facebook groups about moving to Mexico, money is a really big one. They tend to feel that they can live more affordably and more cheaply. And to some extent that is true. I would have to say that my rent here is just about exactly what my mortgage was when I lived in Southern Oregon. My other expenses are less expensive, but my health insurance was a little more expensive, actually, and it's going to get more expensive. Utilities are less expensive. And of course, being a renter, I don't have homeowners insurance. This is not a high earthquake area, and I don't really have a lot of things here that are of any value, so I don't insure any. But if money is a primary motivating factor, I would not think that that would be a strong enough thing to keep most people living here happily. I mean, especially in the Lake Chapala area, things are really expensive. Other things, people tend to take vacations in Mexico, and they may go to Puerto Vallarta or Morelia or the East Coast and have wonderful memories and decide they want that to be their life. I have to say that living here is extremely different from vacationing here, even my own experience. I can't impress on you enough that once you've moved here and you're dealing with the realities of life, it is way different than either staying in a hotel or even like I was with a rental house. You aren't dealing with the day in, day out trials and tribulations of living in Mexico. So I don't want to sound negative, and a lot of people have made comments that they thought my previous videos, like on the utilities, were complaining. I think my main goal here is to make sure that when people move here to Mexico, they move here with eyes wide open. They understand that there's really vast differences between the two countries, or whatever country you come from, Europe or Canada included. It is really different living here, and it's not like just moving to a cheaper version of wherever you're coming from. I think what you need to know is what makes you happy. If adventure, floats your boat, go for it. You're going to love it here. It is a place where you can do all kinds of different things with all kinds of different people. You'll constantly be having new experiences and meeting new people, and that is what it's going to be about here for you. Moving here, Mexico, or any other change you make in life is not going to make you blissfully happy. If you're a happy person, you're probably going to be happy here. If you're kind of an unhappy person, or, just grumpy, or, you have a lot of problems dealing with stress or whatever, you're probably going to find this stressful here too. I see an awful lot of people walking around the streets, especially older people like myself and older. They don't seem happy. I mean, they come here and they disrupt their life, and they're not really having a great time. I mean, I have a couple of neighbors that are they're grumpy. and they make life miserable for other people around him. And I'm like, why did you move here if you're really miserable? You know, I think you should go back. People do things for all kinds of reasons. People get married, people have kids, people go get a puppy, people remodel their house, people go buy a new car, and they think all of a sudden the grass is greener on the other side, that this one thing is going to make them happy. One accomplishment is going to all of a sudden be the key to unlocking the door to being happy. And I have to tell you that moving to Mexico is if you're not happy now, you're probably not going to be happy. So I just don't like seeing people coming here with this rosy idea that their life is going to be all of a sudden transformed into a state of bliss, because it actually is very hard work living here. There's a lot of things that you have to do differently, and it is hard work to get out, find new friends, involve yourself in social activities that you find make you happy, or that have people that have common interests. One example is I brought my piano down. Now, I love playing the piano, and I really have not had the time when I had a career and an acre of land to take care of and a house I was remodeling, and the piano sat there and gathered dust, and I felt really bad about it. So I brought it down, and I had this vision of getting together with all kinds of other musicians and having jam sessions here, and having potluck dinners and everybody having a great time, and having a whole circle of musician friends. And I don't know who I was kidding. I mean, I've always hated playing for other people. I play for myself, and I've never participated in a jam session in my life. Piano has always been a very solitary activity for me, and when I came down, the piano started to gather dust again, and I realized I wasn't doing myself justice by waiting to connect with other musicians, because it's not going to happen. I like my privacy. I like being at home and having my home to myself, and I started sitting down and playing, and I've played not every day, but quite a lot lately, both improvisation and just sitting down to play for myself, reading music, brushing up my skills again, and I'm having a great time. But I play as long as I feel like it. I play whatever the spirit hits me. I just sit down and open the piano and play, and I don't have to make arrangements or get nervous about having other people here expecting me to play a certain way or a certain style. Like I say, wherever you go, there you are, and you are going to be kind of basically the same person in Mexico that you were wherever you've lived in your life. I would have to say that my interests have changed. I do some woodworking. I built a bookcase. I brought all of my camping gear down, and I'm not sure I'm ever going to go camping. Camping alone doesn't really kind of strike me as something I really want to do here. There may be places over at the beach that have places that you can rent, campsites that would have a lot of people around, and I'd feel better about. And sewing, I've done a little sewing. I brought my sewing machine and some fabric, but basically I do now a lot more writing, a little gardening. I go for a walk every single day for about an hour with my dog. A little bit more going to concerts than I did at my home, because they're just so close. There's something going on all the time, all different kinds of music. A little more socializing than I used to do, which is good. Oh, I'm writing also, and of course I started this vlog, which is something very new to me. I mean, I was doing my little home improvement vlogs, which if you look back on my channel, you can see I was doing that to start with, but then, once I decided I was moving and my, COVID hit, I kind of completely stop doing those. But so, I would have to say that I brought down things that I didn't really need, but, there's always people here that will be welcome having anything that I brought, so I'm not feeling like that was a bad idea. What you envision your life is going to be like here is probably not going to be what it turns out being, and there's no way to predict, because it is a different life here. The weather's different, the people are different, your friends are different. I want to add a couple of more thoughts. Don't get petrified either. I want to impress on you that you need to know why you're moving here. But if you think you want to move here, you're pretty certain you want to move here, but now you kind of have doubts as to why or if you'll like it, nothing is ever, forever. You can always move back. As the statistics show, 70% of the people move back. Well, that's a large proportion of people decide it's not for them. And there's nothing wrong with just saying, you know what, this just isn't working for me, and move back home. So when you're leaving, it's not like, you're going someplace that's permanent and you can never, ever come back. When I came down, I had been here twice. I thought I knew what I was getting into. And then when I got here, I realized that things had changed, but I had changed too. It had been 10 years since I'd been here, and I had really loved it when I came before, but I came with a partner, and we did things together. We went out to eat, and we went to concerts, and just went for drives and palled around, and I don't really have a pal now. I am making friends, and I love it here. I mean, I love waking up in the morning and having it gorgeous sunny weather. I love the clear air. I love the lifestyle. It is absolutely a wonderful place for me to be. I wouldn't go back if you paid me. But at the same time, it's very different than I imagined it would be, and it's very different than it was when I was here 10 years ago. I'm still not sure that this is where I'm actually going to stay. For now, this is a lovely place for me to kind of get established and get myself familiar with Mexico and learn the language better. There's other places, and Mexico's a huge country, so why limit my options? I'm casting about and trying to decide what to do next, but I'm very happy with my decision that I moved. I'm not questioning that. Will I make it 5 years? Who knows? I mean, I haven't even made it 1 year yet, but for now, I'm absolutely happy, especially seeing people back home with the snow and the cold and the dark days. And it is, there's always fine-tuning to be done when you make a big decision like this. But at least I made the big move, and I'm done with that. So if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.